setups?
We have a program, QA program, that requires a minimum 2 tests per day per plant. Depending on the job,
Right.
it could be more.
Now, if you've got a DOT job, you're probably running a slump test when you start the morning
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
And then they're probably running a slump test at the site.
Yes, they are.
Samples as well.
Yes.
Okay.
And every job's different. Sometimes they require testing every 50 yards, every 100 yards. It just depends. And you're just trying to get an average.
Right.
As long as your slump, you can visually look at it. We have a spec that says it's 3 to 5 inch.
Yeah.
You know, we can look at this and see, hey, we're good for it. You know, if it's real wet, you know, we'll test it and reject it if we need to, because that's the last thing we need is something that's real sloppy out there on. You know, when you're talking about residential concrete, you really don't have that much of a load to worry about, but you start talking about a bridge or a high-rise building, and you're taking a lot of people's lives is relying on this concrete. You know, you don't want any failure with it. So, but I mean, everything's over-designed anyways. You know, if the engineer says they need 4,000 psi, they really only need 3,000 or 3,500. So.
Typically, y'all ship here a little stronger to start with.
Yeah, yeah. As long as we're in spec like this, this load right here is a 3,000 commercial air mix. We'll probably be around 4,000 in 28 days.
Okay.
Now, as the air goes up, your strength goes down as well. It creates more air void, so it makes it weaker. Since this was on the lower side, we'll have better strength.
Yeah.
But we can make just about any type of concrete for any application. We have, for example, this is pervious concrete. It's designed for water to flow through it. So if you've got buildings that require a retention pond, you can do away with that retention pond by putting a certain area of pervious concrete. You build a layer, you put geotextile fabric in with rock, and you pour it on top. And when it rains or runoff water, it goes right through it. So with pervious, you can just keep pouring, and it just keeps running through. So we've done several jobs. You have to have a certain certified finisher to do it. He's got to have tools to do it. We also have examples like, which y'all might not be able to see, but this hunk right here, this is heavyweight concrete. That right there weighs 290 pounds a cubic foot, where this concrete weighs about 142 pounds a cubic foot. We use that for radiation shielding. And that was actually a test sample I had that I had to take to Aiken Hospital so they could test, make sure radiation didn't pass through it when they were looking at putting in a new radiation treatment facility for cancer patients. But we also use stuff like that at Savannah River site because of the nature of radiation. We need to make sure it doesn't penetrate through the concrete and get out in the atmosphere.
So what's in it? How do you make that denser?
You make it denser, you use heavy aggregates, heavy rocks. This right here has iron ore in it.
Okay.
So the weight of that iron ore is a lot heavier than the weight of normal granite. We also, that one has steel shot in it as well. So
you have to get your ore shipped in from Springs, I guess?
it comes from Kentucky. And then the steel shot that we had got before came from Canada.
How about the regular aggregate you're using on a daily basis come out of dogwood or something?
Yeah, we get it out of Dogwood Quarry, which is up Columbia Road. Our sand comes from South Carolina Minerals over here in Beach Island, North Augusta. We do get some sand from Starrett.
Yeah.
Our Aiken plant, we get rock from Bluegrass Materials in their Edgefield quarry for that plant. So, you know, it's wherever the location is, usually where the closest it is, we try to get from. Yeah.
But you're looking for a particular, I know several of y'all quit, several of the concrete makers quit getting rock out of Martin Marietta off of
Riverwatch.
Riverwatch because the stone starts to
It's flat and elongated,
yeah.
and actually you can't hardly see it, but
yeah, very
The stone in that pavement that's exposed where the water is, that's Martin Marietta aggregate off Riverwatch there.
That was before dog.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was poured 50 years ago probably, so, yeah,
I just know the finishers don't like that, so.
no. Some companies like Augusta Ready Mix, they'll blend it
Yeah.
with stone from Martin Marietta up in Appleton,
Yeah.
you know, to be able to work with it. A lot of your highway people don't like it either because it's so hard when they're, it's harder on their equipment, especially saw blades when they're cutting joints on the interstates. It'll eat up diamond blades 2-3 times faster than the dogwood stone. So, however, the railroad companies don't like the dogwood because it's softer. They want a harder stone to run on the railroad tracks because of the force of the tracks bouncing up and down on the stone.
That makes sense.
Yeah.